Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Some of you guys out there will be like, why are you wearing the hat backwards? And that's a very good question. The only real way I can answer that question is... I'm keeping it fresh. Keeping it fresh here on Steelers Nation Australia. No, I will remove the hat very shortly, but my hair is still crazy everywhere. Getting a haircut on Tuesday. Okay, I had a really good, interesting comment that I want to comment on this comment that happened a few days ago on one of my videos, and it's talking about the media, talking about how NFL fans don't take the Pittsburgh Steelers seriously. I think some Steeler fans don't take the Steelers seriously as well. So I want to bring this comment up by my good mate here from Steeler Nation Australia, one of the loyal listeners and viewers, Julian, that says here, I cannot watch most podcasts right now. There's no really honest discussion about our Steelers. They have this narrative that they're all saying the same thing about Wilson and the Steelers. And I've seen that too, by the way. I've definitely seen that with our Steelers in Russell Wilson. He's old, he's slow, he's not going to be the guy. Fields is going to take over. But it does feel like that Wilson's checked in. He wants to bounce back, and he wants to right his wrongs from Denver. So right now, I'm cheering everyone on. I'm cheering on Wilson. I'm cheering on Fields. But it does feel like a lot of people are starting to put, I guess you can have your opinion if Wilson sucks or not, or what's going to happen. But there's not much belief in the team that is Wilson. So I had this really good comment, right, from Julian here. Says the narrative is they're putting, them down and saying the same thing about Wilson, the Steelers, and all these kind of things. And then he gave me an example that was to do with Tony Dungy. And also, too, guys, let's pause the video right there. I want to play something real quick because obviously a lot of you guys out there are Steelers fans. You know who Tony Dungy is. He was a coach for the Colts, won a Super Bowl with them. I'm pretty sure he won a Super Bowl with the Steelers in 1978 or 1977. He played 2 years with the Steelers. That's not my generational football. But I want to play something really cool that I found out dead set a few moments ago. And it's to do with that. Did you know that Tony Dungy, former, I think he was safety for the Steelers back in the day, and he was undrafted too. He played safety and quarterback in the same game, because he also played quarterback, I think, for the Gophers that are in Minnesota in his college. But then he played safety for the Steelers and 49ers, right? He played for 3 years. But did you know that Tony Dungy is the only person, he's the last person to throw an interception and catch an interception in the same game? Here it is.
I would be remiss if I didn't say this. There was a game in which you filled in for Terry Bradshaw. He broke his wrist. Mike Krzyzewski, I think I'm pronouncing that, separated his shoulder. So you went in and you played quarterback. You had 8 attempts, 3 completions, 43 yards, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. It's safe to say your QBR would have been pretty bad, Coach.
Very bad, very bad. But I still look back on that moment, Shannon, and I'm thinking just what you mentioned. I'm playing safety. I get my first interception in the NFL in the first quarter. I said, man, this is going to be a big day for me. I got one already in the first quarter. Bradshaw gets hurt, breaks his wrist. Mike Krzyzewski gets hurt at the end of the third quarter. And all of a sudden, I'm in the game. I'm calling the signals, telling Mike Webster the snap count, handing the ball off to Franco Harris, throwing passes to Lynn Swan and John Stallworth. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool moment of Steelers history that I didn't know, right? Steelers history goes all the way back to 1933. And yeah, Tony Dungy, he had caught an interception from that game. I believe it was versus the Houston Oilers, and they lost the game too in 1977 it was, or something similar. And in the same game, those two quarterbacks went down, Terry Bradshaw and the other bloke, Mike. You guys will fill me in who the bloke was. I just don't know, right? Mike Krzyzewski, he went down too. And they relied on a cornerback and who used to play quarterback as well in college, Tony Dungy. He caught interception and he also threw one. And it's the last time a player has done that. And you think about in the NFL, is that ever going to happen again? Would you see Patrick Mahomes play quarterback, then go and play safety? Or would you see Minka play safety? The three quarterbacks go down and they put Minka back there, as quarterback. It's probably never, ever going to happen ever again. So I thought it was kind of cool and neat little side segment involving that was Tony. See, my hair's terrible. Tony Dungy. So the comment goes on to say that Julian watched, the example was from Tony Dungy thinking Steelers are legit Super Bowl, contenders. And immediately Harrison, that's Rodney Harrison from the former Patriot safety, makes some bully statements and repeats the same garbage everyone is saying. And then there's no discussion at all. And it's very true. I will try and link that part of the podcast in the description above or below or wherever it is on YouTube. And you guys can make your choice as well. I'm going to play the audio from Tony Dungy. But it's very true. After he finishes, Harrison just goes straight into his team and he says that the Houston Texans will be a Super Bowl chance. Now, they're a good team. The Texans are a very good team. They can make the playoffs. They can make noise for sure. But you'll hear the laughter as I play this video in the background that Harrison just shoots it down. And so many people out there are doing this about our Steelers. Yes, we need to win a playoff game. At the same time, if you win a playoff game, you're only 2 or 3 away from a Super Bowl win, right? So here it is with Tony Dungy on their podcast. I think it's Football Night in America, I'm pretty sure, on NBC. So here's the audio from that.
I like it. Okay, so then who would be the newest Super Bowl contender? Every offseason you have these teams that maybe weren't in the playoffs that could become playoff contenders, and then you have the teams that were playoff contenders that can elevate and become Super Bowl contenders. The newest Super Bowl contender, Coach, we'll start with you on this one. Where would you lean after this offseason?
I'm going to give you a team that probably nobody's really thinking of, but Pittsburgh Steelers have been very good. They've been, in the race, in the hunt. They just haven't had great quarterback play since Ben Roethlisberger. Well, now they've got
a Super Bowl contender.
Super Bowl contender. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Coach, you are caught
Mike
up in
Tomlin.
the Russell Wilson and Justin Fields hype. Are you kidding me? A Super Bowl contender? Now, maybe 9-8 and vying for a playoff position, but the Super Bowl contender, make sure you guys record this because this is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, they snuck in the playoffs last year, right, with average quarterback play. I like Mike Tomlin, what he brings. They've got that belief. They always have that. Adding Patrick Queen, a reliable linebacker in that system, and then just feeling like, hey, we got a quarterback that can win some games for us. If Russell can win 1 or 2 more games for them, I think they can be in good shape. And so you see some of the guys they've added this offseason. I just like them. They're going to be under the radar without question. But let's keep a close eye on those Steelers in December.
Dead set. He is not wrong. Former Steelers cornerback and Super Bowl champion with the Steelers and also coaching. I think he's in the Hall of Fame too for like 20 years with the Colts. And he won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, is saying that the under-the-radar team will be the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl contention. And right away, Rodney Harrison, as he is, he's not a bad bloke, but Patriot. And I guess, there's some bias there from Tony Dungy as well. But there's the laughing factor of Harrison straight away shooting it down. That's not going to happen. They're 9-8. They're terrible. They're this, they're whatever. There's no way the Steelers can do that. Look back to last year where they were with the Matt Canada offense, with TJ Watt going down, with his injury, with our middle linebackers getting injured, and we had Miles Jack and Michael Walker, death row, Eric Rowe off the street. So many moving parts at the end of the season where we had to rely on Rudolph to take us to the promised land and have a chance to beat the Bills. That didn't happen. That didn't work. I'm not saying that Rudolph is a bad player. I wish him all the luck, but it didn't work out. So Harrison is saying the Steelers are going to be 9-8 with a better offseason, a more improved roster that is bringing in Russell Wilson. And no matter what you think about Russell Wilson, good or bad, you need to give him credit for what he's done in the NFL. Over 45,000 yards, played 13 years season, been to numerous playoff games. He's won a Super Bowl. He's lost one. He's a veteran quarterback. Is he going to be worse than Kenny Pickett, than a Trubisky? Like nothing's worse. Nothing is worse than Trubisky. Trubisky, dead set, I think is one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen play for the Steelers in many years. Big Ben didn't look so fresh, coming down right near the end of his career, but we still cheered him on anyway to get there and have one last chance. We all knew it was going to fail near the end when he was versing the Chiefs. It just didn't work out, and the Browns game was the last home game that he won, but it wasn't the fairy tale ending we saw with Jerome Bettis, the bus. But straight away, Harrison cuts this down and says the Steelers will go 9-8, and there's zero chance that they will be a Super Bowl contender. He does throw out the Texans, and they smashed, I believe, the Browns last year in the playoffs. So thank you, Texans. They also smashed us in the game too, 30-7, which, they're a good side. They're a good side led by D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud. Nico Collins got his contract. So they've got some things moving in the right direction to go and win the AFC South. But the Steelers do too. The Steelers they've won the division, being last year, or, they didn't win the division, but they won most of their games 5-1. I think the Bengals this year, they can go 1-1 with them. I believe they can go, or even 2-0 with the Bengals, maybe 1-1 with the Browns, and the Ravens suck. We had their number numerous times over 4 years, 7-1. We can beat them 2-0. If they take care of business in other parts of the schedule, if you get away with a sneaky start versus the Falcons, the Broncos, maybe a few wins against the Colts or the Cowboys, Jets and Giants, maybe you go out of this section 6-2, you have a chance for the last, 9-game gauntlet, try and take on the Commanders, beat the Ravens, have a chance to beat the Browns or Bengals at least once, maybe go 50-50 with the Eagles, beat Baltimore, win on KC. That's where I'm going for a Christmas Day game. And then maybe finish the season on a good win versus the Bengals and getting a 12-win season to win the AFC North. The funny thing is, though, and what my good mate here, Julian, is saying, the funny thing is he's saying, well, I cannot watch podcasts right now because everyone's, not having maybe not a good take, or there's no real honest discussion about the Steelers. And the thing is, the honest discussion is, if you look to what the team has done from punter to signing the long snapper to signing Killer Brew, and they will, by the way, they will sign Cameron Hayward. They're not going to let him walk away. I saw a stupid rumor out there they're going to trade him. Chat Sports said they're going to trade Cameron Hayward to the Bears. So fucking dumb. Just unbelievably dumb. So I understand that. When I hear there's no real honesty discussion about the Steelers, had this narrative, they're all saying something about Wilson and the team. And that's because you guys are here. If you made it here, the 200 viewers or the whoever we got, the 1,000 viewers or the subs, everyone here, that's why you're here, because you're part of the Steelers community that actually gets Steelers football. And you're hearing it from my point of vantage, being all the way in Australia, recording at 9 p.m. at night. We understand our team that's got better from the running back, offensive line has got better. Bringing in Wilson, I think he'll play pretty good to where, you know what, we have a chance to win games and hopefully win some playoff games. So when I see this stuff by Julian, I agree. There's no real honest discussion about that. Now, there's some good podcasts out there that I name like DK Sports or Locked On Steelers. Steelers Now with Farabar and Saunders. They're excellent blokes. But some of the other ones out there aren't saying too much about that the Steelers have a chance. And when you think about it, they do. Every team's got a chance, except for the Bengals because they suck, or the Browns because they suck. But every team's got a chance when it starts 0-0. But if you really think about it, that this team is playing the hardest schedule, but the team in the offseason has gotten better. They improved the middle linebacker position. TJ Watt, he's on hold at the moment. He's going to come back firing. They will sort out Cameron Hayward's situation there. I think they'll sign to a 2-year contract, something like that. They will get the safeties. I think it's Elliott next to Minka right now. They'll improve that position. The receiver missing. I talked about receiver number 2, so I won't go on today. But they will sort that situation with receiver number 2. And they'll feed Fryer with the ball. And everyone's really excited. Everyone's really keen this offseason to be a Steeler, and it does seem like they're all checking in. I just saw a video with Najee Harris calling out one of the rookie guys, undrafted rookie guys, I'm pretty sure, someone Edwards from Georgia, and he didn't let him catch the ball in the boxing glove punch drill thing like that. He wouldn't let him catch the ball at all. So if this team has been building this kind of confidence and overall, I think, culture the last few years. Matt Canada's gone, Kenny Pickett's gone, Trubisky's gone, Rudolph isn't there anymore. There's new quarterbacks. There's now a new OC. There's new receiver coaches, new other guys in there, assistants and stuff like that. There's guys in here. They brought in a kickoff return specialist in Cordero Patterson. There are things moving around where this team can make noise. And like Calvin Austin said the other day, he doesn't want to win one game or go above, just stay at 500 or go above that. He wants to go all the way to win a championship. And that's what they're trying to build right now. So I agree. Shout out to Julian for the comment, which inspired me to make this this episode around Tony Dungy. And I think it's excellent. I think Tony Dungy's all right. Why can't we think about the Steelers having a chance to win the Super Bowl in 2024? Why can't it be us? You could ask that same question last year, and maybe I would have given you the same answer. But at the same time, last year, I was really hyped up on Kenny Pickett. I tried to get behind as much as I could. But this year, you got a veteran quarterback coming in that has done it once. He's been there twice. You've got the running game looking so much better with Najee Harris and Warren. And I think they will organize their contracts after the season. You've got Pickens going to his third year. Calvin Austin want to bounce back. Freiermuth want to bounce back. You go on and on and on and on. So many players here that are checking in, like Broderick Jones on the O-line. So I agree with his comment, 1,000%. So many guys on the O-line are talking really good about the Steelers and confidence in the team. And there are leaders starting to emerge that aren't just Cameron Hayward. He hasn't even been there. Cameron Hayward hasn't been in the OTAs. So there are leaders that are starting to emerge, like Broderick Jones or guys on the O-line that are stepping up, or like Najee Harris that is playing with ultimate passion. So I agree, man. I agree with you 1,000%. Like, it's hard to watch some podcasts now that are doubting our Steelers, and there's no real honest discussion about the team. Now, hopefully that was enough honest discussion with that. I do believe that they're going into the last week OTAs. They're sorting some things out. I know the Steelers are going to try and probably sign a few more people, or people will be cut here and there, but they're trying to build the best roster for 2024. And we're now 98 days away from kickoff. And when we kick off, it's all guns a blazing. It's let's effing go. Here we go, Steelers. Woo! All righty, guys. I'll see you later.